Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto. Welcome to the channel. If you're new and you just want to know what happened with Monero overnight, so that's what we'll talk about in this video. First of all, the apologies for the audio. I'm recording with my AirPods. My microphone is not working on my laptop, so bear with me right here. But we'll talk about what's going on right here. I do want to make this chart a little bit clearer. What you can see, first of all, as a bit of a post-mortem, even though it's obviously not a mortem, is that the price jumped up overnight, basically in the Asian session, jumped up about 38%, which is for a coin like Monero, that's a huge amount of money, of course, because Monero still has a massive market cap. So a huge jump in price, of course, of several hundreds of millions of dollars. I think at the top it was even over $1 billion. But what happened? Is this organic? Did they do some sort of a major update over recently that makes XMR better? And the answer to that is yes. I mean, Monero still is one of the safest, one of the most private, and maybe one of the most valuable projects in the entirety of crypto. And unfortunately, this move is not organic, right? What we saw, if you have not seen the news, is this. 9 hours ago, a suspicious transfer was made from a potential victim for over 3,000 Bitcoin that was potentially stolen. We don't have all the information yet. Yes, that's over $330 million in Bitcoin. And what happened is that these funds began to be laundered, and that's also where Monero is one of the best chains for, because it is that private. It began to be laundered through 6 instant exchanges, where they basically swapped Bitcoin for XMR, right? And that XMR, I think they have some of that XMR on exchanges. I could be mistaken about that. But that means that this is just fraudulent activity, right? And therefore, look, short term, obviously this can mean a lot, because in the end, the price action right now and what this means depends a lot on what's going to happen with that stolen Bitcoin, which turned into XMR, right? Are they going to be cashing that out for stable coins through some sort of a maybe OTC way? Which would delay a sell reaction on the charts, obviously, because then it's OTC and it's not going through the markets, and then the OTC partners, whoever they may be, right, because this is illegal activity, they'll probably slowly sell that XMR to suppress the negative market, negative price action that it may cause. Is this XMR somehow, is a lot of this on exchanges? Are the exchanges going to freeze it and they're going to try to reach the owner, in which case the XMR will probably also be swapped back? But all these scenarios, look, like I said, short term, there's going to be a lot of volatility, and that's also what we have already seen over the course of this morning. But ultimately, I don't really see any reason how all of this XMR that has been bought with the stolen Bitcoin is not in some sort of a way going to be converted back into stable coins, into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, into something else. We don't know. But I see that as most likely, right? So if we zoom in or if we zoom out, obviously this is a great breakout. And I still think, like, if we get back to this area right here between 240 and 230, I would still technically say that's a buy. Would I buy XMR right now though, with this huge overhang of tokens that can potentially be sold? And like I said, if it's going to be sold on the markets, we'll have a huge spike down, probably less than the spike up we had, but still. And if it's going to be sold OTC, over the counter, then it's still going to lead to a sell reaction, or it's still going to lead to bearish price action, but then a little bit more spread out. But ultimately, the supply and demand changes remain the same. So therefore, this is great, all right? And if you are a Monero holder, this is a great time potentially to cash out, but I don't really see a way in which this could be a sustained organic move. Like a lot of people are saying, well, I mean, maybe a lot of attention is going to Monero right now, and that causes it to get some more positive price action, is a possibility. But then on the other hand, I can also say, if this major theft is such a highlight for Monero, if it sheds so much light on Monero, it also sheds light on Monero for people that you don't want to notice Monero, right? So governments, for example, who could become even more restrictive on Monero, which they have already become that the last couple of years. So therefore, I'd say a pullback seems imminent into the zone right here at 240, 230. From there, I do expect some sort of a move up. I don't think we'll get higher than this spike. We might get back up to 300, 290 through some delayed bullish momentum today during the New York opening, or just to fill some imbalances, or just to squeeze shorts. That's a possibility, but ultimately I'd say, maybe we'll do something like this, but ultimately I think we will fall back down into the balance right here we've made over the last months. Those are my thoughts. That's what happens. That's what I think you need to know about the price, about Monera itself. If you do have any questions, of course, let me know down in the comments. But for now, have a great day. Take care and bye.